Okay, so construction workers, so you're finally out in public. I think you go to the superstore, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It's my own my personal convenience store.
Yeah, that's why I thought, because I've been hearing a lot about you before I met
Yeah.
you. They said there's this guy walking with a dress. I go, what? What? So when I met you a couple of weeks ago, when you picked me up to go at the, what do you call it again? Concord
This is the
Fellowship. Fellowship.
Yeah.
And then when you came out, I didn't notice, but when you came out of the car, I seen the dress and the high heels, and I said, oh, okay, now I know this is the guy that they're talking about. So now you've been open for the last 2 years, 3 years,
More and more open, yes.
and so now it doesn't bother you.
Well, I stopped being bothered quite a while ago, and it's comfortable.
Your mind must be at ease now.
Oh, perfectly at ease.
Yeah.
Yeah, at first I was worried. As I say, the Canada in which I grew up, you could very well find yourself bloodied and beaten.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
And I think one of the things might be is a lot of people don't realize that cross-dressing isn't the same as homosexuality, and they figure he's gay, I better not touch him because it's a hate crime to beat a person up. Although strictly speaking, I think I mentioned to you that that's one of the shortcomings of the Canadian legislation, is that issues of gender identity are not protected under the hate crime laws.
They're not?
No. If I get beaten up, it's just an assault. If somebody beats me up because I'm cross-dressing, it's just an ordinary assault. It is not considered a hate crime.
Oh really?
That's right.
Well, that has to change.
There have been private members' bills brought forward. The last private members' bill was brought forward and was, I think, died on the order paper when the election before the last one was called.
Really?
And of course, I don't think a Harper government would see that as a priority.
No, of course not. I don't think so.
Even the Liberal governments did not, but at least the Liberal private members, they brought it forward. I think it was the Liberal member who was bringing it forward.
So minority, visible minority, minority as French, and gays, they're all covered.
Yes, I think if you even talk nasty about those people, that'd be considered
Call them a
hate
fruit,
speech.
I could be in trouble. They say,
Yeah,
like, calling me a
although
frog
I don't think many gay people would take issue with that.
No.
It's when you beat
Yeah.
them up, they get upset.
So if you got beat up coming out of Sobeys, and you say, well,
As I
and
say,
they beat you up and say, call you a fruit and everything, or saying whatever, you know how they are. There's really nothing, there's no hate crime?
Well, I think if I could prove that they thought I was a homosexual, there might be a case, but I really don't know, and I really don't want to.
But you're not a homosexual.
No, I'm not.
No?
But if a person thinks you're something,
Yeah.
and they beat you up because they think you're that, is that a hate crime?
No. No, yes.
Okay.
If they take
So
it.
if they honestly thought I was a homosexual or beating me up because they thought I was a homosexual, I think there might be a case there.
Yeah, but you're not a homosexual.
No, I'm not.
Isn't that strange now? So they're not going
But
to
a
say...
lot of people would think I was.
That's true.
Now there was one thing you haven't sort of asked, I haven't talked about. If it were possible to do a complete sex change, not right now you take hormones and there's an operation where they cut out bits and reform other bits, and you can sort of live, but you're not really the other sex. You're living essentially in a mutilated body that you always have to support with hormones. If it could be a real, true sex change, and I could start over again and have, carry children and have children, I think I would jump at that in a moment, without a thought.
See, I was going to ask that, but then I said, do you have breast implant? No. No. And a sex change, if you could have one, would you? Maybe not now.
As it currently exists, the technology, they say it's.
But if they could right now, you would.
But to really change sex, it's the whole, the whole form. You have to change sex as an infant, so that it's not just genetics, it's the genetics, it's the whole how you're raised, it's the things that are available. And I think, given my mindset, if the mind didn't change, I think as a female I'd probably be unhappy. I think what I'm closer to is what the Aboriginals would have called two spirits. That some, in my brain are components that are male, there are components that are female. Now, some of the desires that are going around in my head are female desires, but other desires are male. You know, different parts of the brain are responsible, I think, for different aspects, and probably some parts of the brain were formed, when there was maybe a hormonal imbalance, and so they form more with a female configuration. If you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hold on. Okay, that's good.